Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some more news concerning Oleksander Usyk. Get this. You want to know who Usyk is fighting next? Check out this article by Bloody Elbow. Okay, according to this article, Usyk's next title challenger will be one of the two men after eliminator fight is announced. Okay, he said a final eliminator bout has been booked in the IBF heavyweight division, with Oleksander Usyk now set to fight one of the two men. After knocking out Danny Dubois this past July, defend his undisputed heavyweight title, Usyk teased at a potential retirement from the sport of boxing, as we know. Okay. And at this point, it seems though there isn't anyone left in the heavyweight division for him to fight. However, a final eliminator fight has been booked by the IBF. Okay. And having given up his WBO, as we know, okay, the sanctioning body ordered a fight between contenders Jared Anderson and Frank Sanchez to take place, with the winner becoming Usyk's mandatory title challenger. Anderson rebounded from his KO to Mark McCauley last time out when he picked up a win over Marcos Colias this past February. Let me counterpunch. I think if Usyk's going to stay in the game, it should be against someone of this magnitude. Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez, both of those fighters, okay, they're fast, they're quick, they're unlike any of the last contenders that he's faced in a while, okay. Jared Anderson, switch hitter, you know, quick, fast, 6'4", a little bit taller than Usyk. He has the ability to move. He's defensively responsible when he wants to. And I think him and Frank, pretty much, Frank has the explosiveness, the cat and mouse Cuban style is a challenge for Oleksander Usyk. And I think the main thing we need to focus on with this situation is the IBF. I think the IBF knows, and I think Usyk knows, the IBF doesn't play. They're not going to play around with Usyk. You know, they know he just dropped the WBO, so they won't really hesitate to snatch that belt if he decides not to. However, if he's set to fight this guy or one of these guys, I'm all for it, because you have to defend it against someone, especially being a still current unified champion. Okay, the WBO belt is gone. He said he wants those other fighters to fight for it, just like he did the IBF. Now the IBF is up for grabs again. Now it's time to mandate. Okay, and the IBF has put this fight together between Jared Anderson and Frank Sanchez. And I'm surprised that they did that after Moses Atoma stepped down, after Danny Dubois stepped down. And now, speaking of Danny Dubois, if he knew this information, or if they knew this information, I could see why he walked away. Because I don't think he wants to fight Usyk again, which, you know, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for any of those guys, Fury, Dubois, or AJ, to fight Usyk again, especially AJ, since he's on Team Usyk now. But nonetheless, I like this. I like new blood. I like new challenges. You know, both of those guys are young, and I think that will be another factor that we're overlooking, you know, when you're dealing with someone like Usyk that is constantly getting older. Despite him being talented, he is still aging. Okay, so Frank Sanchez, I think he's 30 years old now, but he's still young. Jared Anderson, hella young. I think he's like 25. So, yeah, I think these fights can be competitive just based on those particular facts, right? But I like it. You know, I'm glad that Usyk's doing something to show that he is still wanting the smoke, because the dropping of the WBO was somewhat of a red flag. It was one of those things where it was, you know, like, okay, you're dropping belts now, you know, and it comes to the point like, well, what did you want? Why did you have them? But I'm thinking Usyk has a master plan. I'm hoping he does. But I'm glad that he decided to fight one of these guys. Now, the only problem about the article is it didn't say who said what. It just said he plans to fight. You know what I mean? According to Bloody Elbow. You know what I mean? It didn't say this anywhere else. So I hope this is valid. Okay, I hope this is what he intends to do, because this is the right thing to do, especially after dropping a WBO belt. But you guys tell me what you think of Usyk. Plan to fight the winner of the title eliminator, Frank Sanchez or Jared Anderson. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.